how many realized that James Orengo, the Siaya governor's speech, was actually, microphone was muted after that Oburu Odinga explosive speech? Before we look into all those details, I want to get back with you here. Last weekend we did Kano mission and we were able to reach to 50 elderly women in Kano. Now this one here is known as Eda. She's actually the very last home we visited. Ukiangalia her house, it is submerged in water. So we visited her. If you look at the video, she's in her late 80s. Actually, she could be going to 83 or so. And the place there, it was soaked in whole water. And because of the flooding crisis, I had contacted the area chief and some close family members, and I've got into a conclusion that if we don't move her there, I shall have not done Kano mission. So kindly, I want us to make sure we move Shosh to a raised structure. She's in her 80s, so I think we've looked at not a very complicated building. Just nyumba tu yenye it can have a little bit of a raised floor so that she can also be left. So kindly guys, I'm not going to do 150 bob challenge. Just send me anything you can get, anything you can have. By Wednesday, I want to coordinate with the fundi on site so that house can be constructed. By the weekend, I can go there and just see the structure. But kitu tunataka ni atolewe pale kwa sababu mali hapo ako pabaya, and I've just been told because of the flooding the situation is not proving to be very good. I will receive any amount that you can get. This one is a blessing for us. By Wednesday I should send some money to the fundi aanze kujengea Shosh nyumba ingine, just a makeshift, not a complicated structure, but just a makeshift structure so that another kind of safe place. So she's called Eda. Kindly send me anything you can get. I want to make sure combat to move to a raised ground. If we do this, I think that we shall have actually accomplished that Kano mission. Thank you. While speaking in Lagos Songa, in Nyangamakogelo, one thing I can say is things don't just happen. In politics, it's always scripted. It's always planned with a very clear objective of how it's going to be done. The speech by Oburu Odinga, the Siaya senator, and the MP, Sam Atandi, were very intentional. Those speeches were very intentional. And they were well planned. In fact, if you ask me, if you listen to Orengo was given the microphone to speak as Siaya governor. He was not given opportunity, he was not told to invite the Siaya senator nor to invite the MP. He had an option of just talking, then returning the microphone to Duale. So I want to show you what happened, because he was speaking partly in the Luo, so many people missed it. So when he was speaking, he said, I've remembered something. He said that in the Luo, I've remembered something. Then at that point, he brought in Oburu Odinga. And Oburu Odinga made the speech, the statement, the boldest statement there. I think least expected.
I stand here on behalf of my family, the family of the late Jaramogi Odinga, on whom I represent as the chair. Now, the late Ogola here is our maternal uncle, and our mother comes from this village. And therefore, we come here as relatives of Ogola. I also come here to bring condolences of my brother, Jacom Raila Amolo Odinga, who has sent me to come because he is a bit indisposed. He could not come personally, but he has asked me to come and represent him and the family. So I also want to bring condolences of Uhuru Kenyatta, the former president of Kenya, His Excellency, who has also brought his condolences to the family. He is out of the country, but he has asked me to bring his condolences to the family. Now, I would only want to mention one word after saying words of condolences and sympathies to the family. I would just like to say that the death was an accident, but even though it is an accident, in this region we have had many such accidents, and we have also had assassination of leaders from this region. So when such things happen, we are a bit suspicious, not because of anything, but we want to know the truth. We want to know the truth. And I want to ask our uncle, the general's son, not to be impatient with us. It is not because of anything. It is just because once beaten, twice shy. So we are asking for no stones to be left unturned, and let us know the truth of who killed our uncle, General Ogola. He died too soon, and we are a bit shaken by his death. And you people know, we lost Tom Mboya in very tragic circumstances. We lost Ouko in very tragic circumstances. And when we lost Ouko, I was part and parcel of the team of parliament which was investigating the death of Ouko. And I can tell you it was very sad, because the regime at that time managed to convince the family to be very protective and not to allow people to go into details. So young man, please just allow investigators to do their work. Now, with those very, very few remarks, I would once again want to wish that our uncle is rested in peace in heaven, and let the Almighty put him in the best place, and was one of our best sons, one of the best sons from this area. We wish that the Almighty puts his soul in peace, and let his family also rest here, and we shall be with you all the times. Thank you very much.
Before he even made it, he acknowledged, and if you even listen to it, he was so intentional about his speech. Before mentioning about wacha our investigation iendelee, because he was referring to Joel, he acknowledged that I've got greetings from Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga. And he also said, I'm speaking on behalf of Oburu Odinga family. So, do you want to tell me that he just came to speak for the sake of it? No. Everything was planned. And we hear what he said and what the Samatandi MP said, the Lagos Songa member of parliament, were all in concurrence that just investigate and give us report.
General Ogola is the first Luo to sit in that position. And that's why, Your Excellency, when members of my community are expressing their concern about the way the end has come, and let us agree, my friends, the end is smelly. The end is smelly. The end is smelly. It's not as clean as the beginning. We would only ask you, Your Excellency, the way you broke the record of appointing him as the Commander-in-Chief, let us get the report about what happened to General Ogola. That is the only thing that we want. We want this thing will give us a closure as his community.
And I know when after that Orengo then started his speech, and Orengo started saying there is something I want to tell the Luo community. At that moment, his microphone went off shortly. Just listen to what this.
Luo tomorrow wacho gi Kisungu. Adwaro ni mondo josiaya duto mondo winj wach ma wacho ni. Wuoyi ma waiko kawuono ni ok en ng'ama inyalo pando. En wuoyi mathuon kendo en ruath. Emomiyo kata kineno liete mang'eny ma ji bedogo to ok inyal neno ka ji owuok oko kaka ji owuok ni General Ogola. An adwa mitambe mokethre onge gimarach. An ing'e abe an gi mach moro kama kosim ta ilielo. Adwa wacho ni yani kawuono jomotelo ni nyasi ni.
So what happened there? I want to believe very well that the backroom team had realized that Orengo, Atandi, and Oburu Odinga were out on a political mission to send missiles. And of course, Orengo was going to send the missile in Luo. Both the others had spoken in English. So Orengo will send the missile in Luo. And that is why his microphone went off shortly. So he's saying that there is a joke he said there that there is no problem, but hata mimi niko na yangu wakizima, hata mimi niko na yangu naweza washa. What was he saying? He was acknowledging that indeed the microphone went off. Wait, that microphone went off, and if you check the podium lights, they were all on. The podium lights were all on. In fact, according to me, someone just brought in kidogo, hiyo party sisikiki ya Ruti. It happens. It's usual. It happens. And the three speeches, Orengo, Atandi, the MP, and the Senator Oburu Odinga, were all planned in the absence of Raila Odinga. And if I want to tell you that it didn't just happen for the sake of it, let's imagine Raila was there. Do you think Oburu would have spoken like that? Do you think Raila would have said what Oburu is saying? Do you think? No. Maybe he wouldn't have. But Ruto team got a bit uncomfortable with that script that had been already, that was being acted by the three leaders, Orengo, Oburu, Atandi. And at that instance, I'm telling you, the public, it's a culture. The public, what Oburu was saying is what many people didn't want to say. They realized, I don't know if that's true or not, but they might have realized that Joel had really been put into some submission, or has been convinced that, you know what, we don't need to investigate. We don't need to investigate. Was it a must to say, no, this investigation is a must? Now, why do you think, what do you interpret of that Oburu speech? I'm seeing something. It was creating a very hostile environment for Ruto, because Ruto was going to make his speech. And it achieved that. Remember when Ruto was talking, there was a heckling throughout. So Oburu Oginga's speech created a very hostile, a very unfamiliar environment for even the other Kenya Kwanza speeches, especially the president. Because they addressed the president. Mr. President, we did those answers. He was at the corner to ensure. So that's one of the reasons. Number two, Oburu Odinga was delivering Raila Uhuru message over Ogola's death. If someone is asking, what does Uhuru and Raila think about Ogola's death, you don't need to look elsewhere. You just need to take time and listen to Oburu Oginga's speech. Remember, before he made the speech, he said, he acknowledged that I sent condolence message even from former President Uhuru Kenyatta. He said it from former President Uhuru Kenyatta. What does that mean? That is trying to say that what I'm going to say here has a blessing of both Uhuru and Raila. That's it. And in fact, even to the Joel, the Ogola's son, I would not want to speak much about that. But that is clear point that people are not that happy. And Oburu realized, as an elder, there was something going on here. And the narrative going on here is whether we should investigate or not. In fact, I've seen Kenya Kwanza bloggers saying that Ogola's son, praising Ogola's son and saying, you know, Tore has died, people are just taking political mileage. I dare say this, if Kenya Kwanza fall into that trap of don't investigate because the family is reluctant, because the family is not pushing, you leave a chance for all manner of propaganda and speculation. In fact, do you know, a good investigation and report on public inquiry, report that is tabled in Parliament and published in Kenyan state, and with appropriate actions prescribed on what needs to be taken into consideration moving forward, is what is going to help the country. But if you sit pretty comfortable, that the family is reluctant, you see, like the son is very comfortable, then you say, no, there is no problem, you'll fall into that trap. Thank you.